5 ways to get rid of the baby fat. 1. Breastfeeding. Many women who have recently given birth are always interested in attempting to lose some of that extra weight that traditionally accompanies having a baby. What many of these women do not entirely realize is the fact that breastfeeding can not only help provide the baby with essential vitamins and nutrients, but can also help in the weight loss process. For example, the average mother will utilize somewhere between 500 calories and 800 calories a day producing milk for the baby. Not only will the baby receive the health and nutrition that it needs, but it may also enable a woman to lose baby fat a lot faster. As you can probably already imagine, it is a lot easier to say that going to the gym and cutting back on the amount of food that one needs is the easiest path to losing weight. That being said, it's not really a practical option for many new mothers. There are a lot of responsibilities associated with having a baby which require a great deal of focus and effort. There's certainly nothing wrong with trying to eat healthy food and attempting to engage in some type of exercise on a regular basis. However, the point is that breastfeeding can really augment a new mother's effort to lose weight. Remember, as mentioned a moment ago, between 500 calories and 800 calories a day are often consumed in the process of creating the milk that will be fed to the baby. Something that a lot of new mothers oftentimes do is try to interact with other new mothers who find themselves dealing with a variety of similar challenges. One of those challenges is losing some of the extra weight that is acquired as a result of the pregnancy. Women oftentimes find it a lot easier to lose weight when they are able to communicate their fears and anxieties with other women and to support each other as they go about the process of shedding the extra pounds put on during pregnancy. In this regard, breastfeeding is a wonderful tool because he really doesn't require any extra effort. It's just something that naturally happens. In addition to breastfeeding, taking walks and making an effort to eat low-fat food can really start to make a difference. As always, if in doubt, speak your doctor to make sure that you are doing what is best for your health as well as that of your new baby. 2. Drink plenty of water. Drinking plenty of water is something else that can dramatically help a new mother lose weight. How is this possible? And to be realistic, how much weight can actually be lost using this method? Let's dig into this issue. The very first thing you need to understand is that water has no calories whatsoever. We are not talking about special water that you might buy at a grocery store that contains sugar or other additives which contain calories. The water we are referring to is the basic water they can come right from the tap. You may be wondering why it is significant that water has no calories. When you stop and think about it, we all need to drink something. Why drink a beverage that contains calories if your goal is to lose baby fat? Most medical studies have strongly suggested that the overwhelming majority of people will get all the hydration that they need from water. You don't need to drink sugary sodas to become hydrated. This raises the question of whether or not diet soda is a suitable alternative to water. After all, the amount of calories contained in diet soda can be extremely low. What you need to remember is that a lot of scientists have concluded that your body performs better and is less likely to develop problems related to excess weight when you drink water. In addition, there are a lot of artificial sweeteners that are used in various types of soft drinks. This could have a negative impact on your baby assuming that you are breastfeeding. Drinking water is not enough. You need to also make sure that you have the type of lifestyle that will help you lose weight and keep it off. Considering the fact that you are a relatively new mother, it may not really be practical for you to be spending a lot of time at the gym or otherwise carefully following a very detailed diet. However, it really helps if you can do a little bit of exercise every day. This can have a dramatic impact on your ability to lose weight in conjunction with drinking plenty of water and eating reasonable portions. In the final analysis, women who are interested in losing weight after giving birth to a baby need to take a multidimensional approach to solving the problem. This will include drinking plenty of water, getting some exercise, and eating well. Doing all these things will produce remarkable results. 3. Eat well. Next, many women who are interested in losing baby fat after giving birth will sometimes make the classic mistake of cutting back on the amount of food that they consume in a manner that is unhealthy. In other words, it can actually be counterproductive to eat dramatically less amounts of food if you are truly interested in losing weight. The reason why this can be so problematic is because your body will automatically detect that an unusually lower amount of calories are being consumed. This will typically result in a situation whereby your metabolism will slow down. In essence, your body becomes far more efficient at being able to process the calories you do consume and restricts the amount of calories that are burned throughout the day. What this basically means for a new mother is that she will not experience the type of weight loss she is expecting. By cutting back too much on the amount of food that is being consumed, a woman who has just given birth can not only be potentially affecting the health of her baby, assuming she is breastfeeding a baby, but it is also causing a situation whereby her body will not shed as much weight as she thinks it will. Other downsides associated with restricting the amount of calories you consume include feeling tired, cranky, and not really having the energy to do things. This also includes not really having sufficient amounts of energy to partake in reasonable amounts of exercise that all health experts agree to be very beneficial to losing weight. The real solution in a situation like this is to make sure that you are eating well. This is not to suggest that you should eat a bunch of junk food or otherwise mistreat yourself by consuming vast quantities of food that really have nothing to do with making sure that you are getting sufficient calories, vitamins, minerals. The idea here is to instead fill yourself with the calories you need but not an excessive amount of calories. Finally, make sure that you engage in some type of exercise on a regular basis. This can be something as simple as taking walks. What few new mothers realize is that breastfeeding a baby can also help burn up to 800 calories per day. Eat well, do some exercise, and consider breastfeeding your baby. All these things will help you lose much of the extra weight that you accumulated after childbirth. 4. Hot yoga. I already see the raised eyebrows. However, did you know that doing hot yoga after pregnancy can not only help improve your psychological outlook, but can really have a lot of positive physical health benefits as well? Some of those positive health benefits that are physical in nature include burning fat and losing weight. As you may or may not know, Bikram yoga, also known as hot yoga, is a type of yoga that is typically engaged upon within a very hot environment. More fundamentally, when we talk about yoga, we are talking about a series of movements that help the body develop internal calmness, which can be really helpful for one's mental outlook while at the same time helping to expand one's strength and flexibility. When you combine these exercises with an incredibly warm environment, typically around 95 degrees, you have a situation where a lot of calories can be burned in a relatively short amount of time. That being said, it's also important to understand that you will need to focus on doing other things that will help you lose the baby fat. Some of those other things include making sure that you are eating healthy food. Never try to starve yourself. Your body will detect this and become less likely to shed calories, actually going into stingy mode. You also want to make sure that you are doing reasonable amounts of cardiovascular exercise. While it's certainly true that hot yoga will get your heart rate higher, it is not really a substitute for taking frequent walks that will enable your heart to get some good exercise, same time burning a lot of excess calories. Don't forget that you really need to work on your posture to improve your body image after pregnancy. Bikram yoga is a phenomenal way to not only improve your posture and body image, but it will also really help you reduce the amount of anxiety and stress you might be experiencing in your life. Giving birth to a baby, while certainly a joyful experience, can also create a lot of anxiety and stress. You owe it to yourself to spend some time focusing on your own health and wellness. If you have any questions about whether or not you are healthy enough to get involved with any type of yoga activity, be sure to speak your doctor. It only takes a moment, but it helps make sure that you're not doing anything that will harm you. 5. Relax. Finally, far too many women want to try to lose the extra weight that they accumulated during their pregnancy virtually overnight. While it's certainly understandable that a woman would want to look the way she did before her pregnancy began sooner rather than later, it's important that there be a realistic outlook on this process. After all, it takes approximately 9 months to gain the weight associated with being pregnant. Do you really think it makes sense to assume that most of the baby fat can be lost in 9 days or less? Of course not. Try to really relax and view this process as being something that will take at least 2 months. The reason why you want to try to view this as a long-term project stems largely from the fact that women who try to lose the weight quickly oftentimes find themselves feeling frustrated and upset by their apparent lack of progress. It's not even a question of them not making progress, they usually are. But the progress is not fast enough to meet the unrealistic expectations that they have put on themselves. And let us not forget, you are also doing this while caring for a newborn. One of the easiest things that you can do is to set some very basic and realistic goals for yourself. If you do not establish goals, it will be far too easy to simply drift sideways and to assume that you're not really making any progress and to feel more anxious and frustrated about the entire process of losing weight after giving birth. Many medical experts indicate that losing approximately 2 pounds every 7 days is reasonable for most women. When you do the math, that works out to losing approximately 16 pounds in 2 months. While that may not be as much weight as you like to lose, you're giving yourself a realistic benchmark. If you happen to lose more weight than that, great. It should mean that baby fat is melting away. But try not to stress yourself out over the process. What many women fail to realize is that they can typically fall victim to something called emotional eating if they find themselves feeling stressed out and anxious over the weight loss process. No woman wants to find herself in a situation whereby she feels so stressed out and anxious that she does the very thing which will sabotage your efforts, eating excessive amounts of food. So as this process is approached, try to relax and realize that it's going to take some time to lose that baby fat.